I was very surprised to know that Indian-made engines are now as efficient as European engines. However, this efficiency upgrade needs significant process change and manufacturing upgradation on the part of auto component manufacturers. If you want to know more about this, please watch the video till the end. Hello fellow manufacturers. I am Ajinkya Kelkar, Director Innovation Filter Systems and Transor India Private Limited. And in this video, I want to discuss a very important topic, that of air pollution. We all want to buy cars. Why? Because we think that owning a car and driving a car is a sign of progress and prosperity. However, the unwanted result of this want is the air pollution. Every year we read the news which says something like this: India chokes. One of the major contributors to this air pollution is the dangerous gases released from the exhaust of the vehicles that we drive. To control this air pollution, Government of India has introduced Bharat Stage Emission Standards, that is BSES. In this video, I'm going to discuss about these standards, briefly describe the latest Bs6 norms, and how the implementation of these Bs6 norms has forced auto component manufacturers or engine component manufacturers to make significant changes in their manufacturing process, which in turn is affecting their bottom line. First, let us look at a brief history of these Indian pollution norms. These pollution norms were first introduced in the year 2000. Back then, they were called India 2000 norms. Then in 2005 came BS2, in 2010 came BS3, and after a gap of 7 years came BS4. But only after a short gap of 3 years, that is on 1st of April 2020, India introduced BS6 norms. The earlier norms, that is BS2, BS3 and BS4, were not at par with the European norms. That means the Indian engines were not as efficient, or to put it in layman's terms, Indian cars were more polluting than European cars. However, India took a very bold step and introduced the BS6 norms in 2020, which are now at par with the European norms. Curiously, India skipped implementing BS5 after BS4. Now, why is that? The answer is not very straightforward, and it may not correlate to the events directly, but the major reason is that after 2010, we saw the drastic effects of climate change, and climate change became a focus area for all governments across the globe. The drastic effects of climate change after 2010 were rising global warming, rising sea levels, and increased frequency of high-intensity weather disturbances like cyclones. Now let us understand what these BS6 norms are, and let us have a comparison between the old BS4 and the new BS6 norms. Now these norms are common for commercial as well as passenger vehicles. So any engine manufactured or sold or registered after 1st of April 2020 in India needs to adhere to these norms. In the petrol engine, the nitrogen oxide or NOx limit is reduced by 25%. And interestingly, in BS4 norms, there were no regulation on the particulate matter, which is now introduced under BS6. In diesel engines, the NOx limit or the nitrogen oxide limit is reduced by 68%, whereas the particulate matter is reduced by 82%, and the hydrocarbon limit is reduced by 43%. So as you can see, These are some significant reductions, and this requires major engine design changes to make these engines efficient. Now let us try to understand what is the impact of these stringent Bs6 norms on auto component manufacturing. Any IC engine or internal combustion engine is a complex piece of engineering. According to some estimate, there are about 10,400 parts in a typical IC engine. Now, no vehicle manufacturer manufactures all these components in-house. They outsource the manufacturing of these components to their vendors and sub-vendors. Now, in order to make their engines adhere to the Bs6 norms, these vehicle manufacturers have to make changes, or they have made changes in their engine design. And once the engine design changes, subsequently the component design also needs to be changed. But the impact of these Bs6 norms is not limited to design change. One of the major change that the auto component manufacturers have to make in their manufacturing process is thorough cleaning of these components before they are dispatched. To name a few, these are some of the changes or some improvements they have to do in their manufacturing process in order to meet these stringent Bs6 norms. One is having an effective component cleaning procedure prior to dispatch. Two, there should be a way and to report the cleanliness of the component that they are going to ship to their OEMs. Three, the washing chemicals that they use for cleaning these components need to be environment friendly. And four, which is majorly a neglected area, is an effective filtration system to avoid wastage of these chemicals. To conclude, rising air pollution levels is affecting you and me and all our children directly. It is literally changing the way we live. Hence, improving our living conditions is the responsibility of each and every citizen. Now, government has taken the initiative by bringing the Indian standards at par with the global standards. It is now our turn, the manufacturer's turn, to make the contribution. Thank you for watching the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you found the video and the information in it useful, please share it with fellow component manufacturers. Because only when we share such knowledge can we grow together.